Well, hi, Courtney. Thanks for helping me with my project.
Of course, I'm excited.
Could you maybe tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Do you want to know like personal work, anything?
I guess where do you live? What do you do?
Okay.
What kind of hobbies do you have? That type of thing.
Sure. So I am 34 years old and I am originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I lived in San Francisco for quite a while and then I moved to Europe about 2 years ago. So I was living in Barcelona for a bit, and now I live in Belgrade, Serbia, with my husband, who is from Serbia. So I'm currently in Serbia, and I work in tech. We work together at Anaplan, obviously, and then after that, I was working for TopTal, which is a talent marketplace company and product, and now I'm with a company called Andela, which is in a similar space, also working in product.
That's interesting. For some reason, I was still thinking you're in San Francisco.
Nope. Yeah, I didn't know how long I was going to end up staying in Europe, so I didn't really like update my social media or anything. And then it's actually been almost 2 years now, or over 2 years now. So, and with coronavirus, who knows when we're going to go to the US. So I'm here for the time being. And yeah, on the personal side, my hobbies, I really like being outside. So I love hiking. I'm a scuba diver. I'm a rollerblader, which is really popular in Europe. Although I know it's like geeky in the US. I don't care though. I love it. And I really like to cook. My family's Italian. I'm like working on getting my Italian citizenship and maybe spending some time there. So I'm always kind of trying out new recipes. And obviously, I really like to travel. So
That's pretty awesome. I had no idea any of those things about you. So
now you know.
now I know. Well, I guess first off, did you know that NASA is planning to land people on the moon in 2024?
I knew that from you.
From me.
Yeah.
Um, and out of like the 170 some odd interviews I've had, that's probably been true with 150 of them. So most of them didn't know about it before. But do you know how many women have walked on the moon?
Like 5?
Would you believe zero?
0?
We've
0
had,
walked on the moon. Oh, wow. I didn't realize that.
yeah, only 12 white men have ever landed on the moon.
See, I told you I know nothing.
But one of the priorities for the 2024 landing is to make sure there is a woman that's there. Might even be two women landing on the moon. I was wondering, what do you think about that? Does that change anything for you, or like, what do you think about that?
I think it's important. And I guess I had seen a lot in the news recently, like meaning the last 5 years, about women astronauts. So I guess that's why when I took a guess, I said 5 because I figured there had to be some women, but I'm frankly quite surprised that there haven't been already. So I do think it's important to have a diverse group of people representing the United States up there.
And the only times that we had people walk on the moon was 1969 and 1972 during the Apollo program. And then after that, we started the shuttle program, which basically just goes to low Earth orbit and the International Space Station. And there's been lots of women and lots of diverse people participating in that program. So,
Yeah.
so what do you think about space exploration? Is it you think it's a worthy endeavor, or maybe misplaced priorities, or like how do you see it?
Like I told you, it's not something I think about very often, although I do follow like SpaceX a little bit, Elon Musk, but I think it's worthy endeavor. I mean, I'm one of the people that believe that there is life out there and there's something else out there and we just haven't necessarily come across it yet. And I also have read a little bit about these ideas to like potentially, I don't know, do something on the moon or do something somewhere else in space, if conditions here if we need to do that at some point, or if it makes sense. So, and I could see certain things happening here that could potentially make that a worthy endeavor now to like explore if that's even an option.
And if you look at humanity, let's say 500 years from now, like what is your best hope that humanity looks like at that point? I mean, like, what are we?
My best hope is that we are more compassionate people, and that we've evolved into, I mean, I guess I'm not like a Luddite where I fear technology, but I don't see a future where like we are robots or anything like that. I mean, I'm hoping that the human race still exists and that it's a more compassionate brand of human race by that time, and that's been kind of facilitated by technology and advancements that we've had.
That's interesting. I've not really heard anybody talk about compassion per se. Um, what do you think is the biggest hindrance to humanity being compassionate? Like, what what keeps us from being compassionate?
I think it's division, like mostly, not all artificial, but like mostly artificial divides that are created between people, and lack of understanding or empathy. And that's kind of like a systemic issue. And I'm not sure that technology can solve for that, but I do think that some trends in the world that we've seen now, like people being able to work remotely and like travel anywhere and experience other cultures, I think that could lead to it, but there's obviously a lot of other things that need to happen in order for us to get there.
Yeah, I often thought, that's both a good and a bad thing about us being able to move around so easily. It means that we don't necessarily have to fix the problems in our community. We could just pick up and go to a different place that doesn't have whatever problem we see. I was wondering what your thoughts were on that.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what some people are pitching, right? Is like it could potentially be like a place where elite people can go to escape like the madness on Earth. At least that's how it's being positioned. But yeah, I mean, it could be something like that. It could be a place where like if the population on Earth becomes too large, it's like a second Earth, or if we need space or like more places to like farm food or something, and we figure out how to do it there, then that could be an option. I don't know.
Well,
I think it's important for all those reasons.
Elon Musk with SpaceX has a vision for space, but Jeff Bezos also has a space company. Did you know
Really?
that? Yeah, it's called Blue Origin.
I know nothing. What's
Yeah.
it called?
Blue Origin.
Blue Origin.
Yeah.
Okay.
And right now their financial model is that he sells $1 billion a year of his Amazon stock to fund it.
Oh,
And
interesting.
I was just at the Kennedy Space Center yesterday, and the Blue Origin facility is like this massive thing right in front of the Kennedy Space Center. I was like everybody that goes to Kennedy Space Center sees Blue Origin. It's kind of interesting. But
I sometimes wonder what like those people know that we don't know, because they put so much of their money into space. Like there must be something that they know where it's like this is going to be necessary. At least I've had that thought before.
well, yeah, I know we have like those end of world disaster movies where like the rich people create these arcs and they're able to like survive, and then everybody else gets wiped out. That those types of things you're thinking. Well, I don't know what their true intentions are, but I can tell you what their stated intentions are. So Elon Musk wants to create a city on Mars to provide like a second home for humanity. But Jeff Bezos wants to develop space to move all of the Earth harming activities out into space and make Earth more like a garden, light residential type area. So like all the energy production, mining, manufacturing, do all that in space. So he likes to say, Jeff Bezos likes to say, Earth is for living, space is for working.
Interesting. I had no idea.
But out of those two visions, which one, do either one of those excite you? Or if so, which one?
Yeah, for some reason, the Mars one feels almost like too far-fetched. I mean, because we've never seen life on Mars, right? And like, I don't know if it's sustainable. I mean, I'm sure there's some way that you could make it sustainable, but I don't know. The farming one actually seems a little bit more realistic to me. And maybe just because I've actually had that thought myself before. I didn't even know that he was doing, or he had that vision, but it just seems there's so many problems with our food production already right now that seems like a more realistic vision than Elon's. But at the same time, like how realistic are either of them, and how hard are both of, they're both very difficult, obviously. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to envision the international airplane system whenever you're just looking at the Wright brothers, plane. It's like it's
Yeah.
our even like the internet. I mean, what a big change if you just describe the things that we do every day to somebody like 30, 40 years ago. They would be like, whoa, I don't think so.
That's true. That's true.
So if it was safe and affordable, would you have any interest in going into space yourself?
Definitely. 100%.
That's awesome.
Does
Well,
everyone say yes?
no, in fact, one time I interviewed this mother-daughter. At the daughter goes to high school with my son, but anyway, I asked him that question. The mom's like, yes, and the daughter's like, no, I don't think so. And the mom was surprised to hear that from the daughter. I was like,
Oh,
oh, that's kind of interesting.
interesting. Yeah, I think it'd be an amazing experience. I would definitely do it.
Well, before I stop the recording, is there anything you want to say in closing?
Thank you for educating me on space visions. um, yeah, I guess I'm kind of curious the best way to stay up to date on all of these types of things. I haven't thought about these things in a while, and it's kind of a fun exercise to like stretch your brain on a topic you don't think about very much.
Well, awesome. Yeah, in terms of keeping up to date, do you use Twitter or Facebook or?
Yeah, just
So
follow the companies.
yeah,
That's
like
it.
Elon and Blue Origin and SpaceX and um, yeah, Elon and Jeff Bezos. Yeah, I
All
mean,
right.
that might be good. Well, I'll go ahead and stop the
Cool.
recording then.